Hey, I want to thank everybody for tuning into a special edition Steelers pre-snap. I'm Luther Dupree. I got my partner, the Hall of Famer Claudia Rosano, in the house with us. The other Hall of Famer, Smoking Jim Fraser. Guys, thanks for coming on. I think we're all 4-0, just like the Steelers. They've been playing on fire. Let's do a quick recap of the Eagles game. I'll start with you, Smoking Jim. What were your thoughts, your predictions?
Well, like I've been saying all along, and Claudio's been agreeing with me because he wants to be right, is that the Pittsburgh Steelers got a highly overrated defense as the average squad. Luther, you want to give a lot of credit to Butler, the defensive coordinator, who couldn't get a defensive coordinator job till he was in his 60s. That's the way his peers thought about him. You got a guy who's been cut by 4 different teams, a receiver from Old Dominion, a practice squad guy, come in and catch 10 passes for over 150 yards and, get you in position for a winning field goal. They was down by 2 points when the field goal kicker missed that field goal late in the game and never made any adjustments. It sooner or later, the whole world, including Luther Dupree, want to see that this Pittsburgh Steelers team is, playing with cards.
The defense has definitely been unimpressive. They have been getting some sacks and turnovers, but there's no defense that's going to shut down the offense. With these rules, the best you can do is sack the quarterback and get turnovers. To beat the great teams, it's an offensive shootout. Look at Kansas City and all these guys. You have to be able to score points. The defense has not been up to par, but they're winning. And, the Steelers usually get better as the season goes on. So I'm not too concerned as of yet because we're winning while the defense is not playing great.
Thanks for coming up with another excuse.
Hey, I said they're not playing good. Hey, Claudia, what are your thoughts? Of course, you caught another victory.
Well, you know what? The thing that I noticed looking at the stats were who had the most tackles, the defensive backs. When the defensive backs make up most of the tackles, that shows me that the middle and the front line aren't doing their job. Now, they did stop Sanders after that big run, and I believe he had 10 yards, 6 yards the second half of the game, so that's good. One thing I'll say, and I'm always critical of a lot of coaching staffs, but the Steelers do make pretty good adjustments on the fly, which shows which is a compliment to them. Claypool is definitely number one. He is earned that quickly. Jim called that a long time ago. And another thing that's popping in my head is Dotson and Claypool are making the Steelers draft picks of 2020. Usually when the draft picks happen that day, everybody says, oh, this guy's an A, or that team's an A, this team's a B. I don't know what the Steelers were. I even forgot when I ranked them. I may have said a C or a B plus or a B, but you really want to grade them during the season, and I think they're an A, so I give kudos to the scouting staff. But Fitzpatrick and Bush, they're disappearing, in my opinion. They're not doing anything. But having said that, like you said, Luther, they're 4-0 with the defense playing the way they're playing. If everybody turns it up, God knows what they're going to do. But you know what? They're 4-0. You can't be 5-0. You can't be 6-0. You're 4-0 after 4 games. They're winning. I don't want to say they're winning ugly, but they're winning. But that again, they haven't played the best of teams either. I think the teams they've played have a combined record of like 3-15-1. Mm-hmm. So this is a little bit different. And again, to Smoking Jim's credit, when everybody was saying, and I even said, I didn't say they're one of the greatest of all time, but there were some people saying 1976 Steelers or the Chicago Bears. And, man, they were far away from that. And Jim said they were an average defense. And I think that might be that's a good scouting report from Jim, average defense.
Yeah, definitely. I was one of the ones that was really high on this defense. I'll admit that. I'm not giving up hope. We've seen Minka, as you said, has not been playing great ball, and Devin Bush hasn't been playing great ball as well. Corners have not been the secondary is not what we thought they would be. So, there are some things. Watt is still playing at his MVP level, and so is my cousin Bud Dupree. I think they're doing their thing, but it's early in the season, and I'd rather win while we get adjusted. We didn't have a preseason, so they're still doing some new things. I think as we look at this game, I think we can really get after Baker Mayfield. He comes in with some sore ribs, maybe even broken. By the end of the game, they may be broke. He may not finish the game. They would have done what they need to do. He may not finish this game. Odell Beckham is hurt. Landry. But let's preview, looking at our offense versus their defense. Claudia, what are your thoughts?
Well, I've been saying all along, the Steelers, if I was the offensive coordinator, Fichtner or Canada, man, I'd be having fun with this. They have so many weapons. I say it every week. I don't know if they don't have a major star. Claypool is going to be, okay, but they have a lot of good players. Maybe not the one guy, the name guy, other than Claypool and Roethlisberger, of course, but he has his weapons, and he can drive a defense crazy. Even though Cleveland, I think, is in the top 4 or 5 defenses in the league, the Steelers have, like I said, so many weapons. Use them. Usually I say they should pound the ball or pass the ball. Again, mix it up. Keep the Browns offense off of the field. I think that's very important because Cleveland can score. So I think that's going to be a huge part of the game today.
Okay. Smoker Jim, what are your thoughts on this?
Hey, very well said, Claudio. I tell you what, Cleveland is outstanding talent-wise. In all the years of my scouting, I've never scouted anybody on the field or off the field better than Myles Garrett. He went to a military school, Texas A&M, where they teach you not to shoot till you see the white of their eyes. But he learned not to throw punches until you hear the N-word. That made him go off last year. This is a high character guy. This was a parade All-American in high school, #1 defensive player in college, a class act on and off the field. And for nobody to believe what he said, I think it's really a shame. He's going to get his fair share of sacks. Offensively, you see over his career, Finesse de Castro always finds a way to get out of a game when he's getting beat to death. Fletcher Cox was beating him half to death, and he knew he was going to have to face Myles Garrett. Now all of a sudden he got a tummy ache. He throughout his career, he gets out of there, still makes the Pro Bowl because there's no statistics for linemen for the Pro Bowl. So you can be a finesse guy, get out of the game against an Aaron Donald or a Fletcher Cox or a Myles Garrett and still make it. But I agree with Claudio that Chase Claypool is the greatest receiver in Steeler history, although the greatest single game I've ever seen from a rookie player in Pittsburgh Steeler history, 3 touchdowns by Eric Green in his debut.
Okay. As I look at our offense, man, I think we're really starting to click. Ben is not forcing the ball, and that was one of the key things that we said early on. I think the running game, you never know with Connor. Sometimes he's on, sometimes he's hurt. But Chase Claypool, I called it last week. He was going to have a big game against this Eagles secondary. I'm not going as far as Jim is saying the greatest receiver in Steelers history. Again, Jim gets hype and says things off the wall, but he looked very good. If he keeps putting up 4 touchdowns a game, I'll agree with you. But Deontay Johnson got hurt and he jumped in, and I don't think he should ever leave that spot again because he's just unstoppable. Short passes, he's big, he's fast. You can give him the ball to reverse and he's going to get in. Defenses don't know what to do with this guy, man. He looks tremendous out there.
Another weapon.
Also, I'd like to see McFarland. He didn't get much last time. I'd like to see him get more involved in it. But Ben makes this offense go. The offense runs so smooth. They're averaging way more points than last year. The running game is hit or miss. Corner was hurt the first game, and Benny Snell got in there and ran 100 yards. He hasn't been hurt since. So that's the kind of thing that you need. But I would like to see McFarland get in there with all that speed, and Claypool and Johnson. They have some great weapons, and Claypool is a number one receiver. And Juju, I think the defense has been rolling to him. I think we're going to start seeing defenses pay more attention to Claypool, and Juju will get going. But today we look at this. The Browns have so many injuries on defense. I think Ben might get his first 300-yard game, maybe another 3-4 touchdown game. But Myles Garrett could break it. Villanueva, he really struggles. With Myles Garrett, as everybody else does, but they have to pay some attention. He's still upset about getting suspended for half the year. We don't want him hitting Ben in the head with a helmet. So we got to protect him. I like to see some extra coverage. McDonald on that side. But outside of that, the Browns are very beatable. They're coming in this game very hurt, very injured. Didn't know if Baker Mayfield was going to play. I look for us to really put up some numbers against an overrated Cleveland defense. Not many playmakers are out there right now other than Garrett. No one else puts fear in me or any of the Steelers. So
I tell you what, though, we keep saying the word weapons. I mean, McDonald, we got McDonald, Ebron, again, the running backs, Connor, McFarland, Snell a little bit, use him properly, Juju. I mean, they have a ton of weapons. That has to be, in my opinion, would be for me. I know as a coach, whenever I have a bunch of guys, let's just say who can run, I like that. I mean, it just gives me more options. They have so many options to throw to. So I would use all those guys as a jab. Juju as a jab. Snell's a jab. Connor's a jab, and then knockout is Claypool. I think they have a big time offense if used properly.
Mm-hmm. And so far this year, I think they have been doing a great job with it.
Yeah.
Now, Smoker Jim, as we look at the Browns' offense against our defense, we know you're not high on the defense. What are your thoughts?
Well, you guys said it correctly, that Mika Fitzpatrick is playing so poorly and so invisible. I've been saying for 4 weeks, it's impossible to be invisible when you're in the middle of the field. It's impossible, but he's proven me wrong because he is invisible. But I think something's wrong with him, man. I think he's sick. There's some illness. He needs to be checked out. I think they ought to bench him.
You said he has COVID, Jim.
He could. I mean, I don't know.
Hey, Wikipedia, Jim.
Hey, look.
Smokopedia.
I grew up on the Brian Song movie, and don't forget that Brian Piccolo was a pretty good football player, and he came back. The year before he died, he came back 10 pounds lighter, 2 steps slower, and they checked him out. He had cancer. I mean, I'm not wishing that on anybody, but you cannot play that poorly in the middle of the football field and be invisible.
That could be the issue is at the beginning of the season or before the season started, he wanted to be a guy who roamed around. He's not playing the same role as he did last year. He wanted to do more of a Troy Polamalu thing. Right. You think that could have something to do with it?
Well, who's that midget out there, 28 from Mississippi? What's his name? What's the sack guy? What's the sack guy? Mike Hilton. Mike Hilton makes plays. He's in the middle of the field.
Oh, okay.
I don't care about roaming around and doing it. I don't care what system they put you in. If you're the free safety in the National Football League, you can make plays all over the place. Thomas Everett, I know that might be a name that you don't remember, Lou, but Thomas Everett was a 5'8" free safety and used to make tackles in the backfield. He was unbelievable. Either you can make plays, whether you're in the back end, front end, side end, you're in the middle of the field. It's for you to make plays, to be seen. And he's not only is he not making plays, the guy for Old Dominion ran him over. The only time he showed up on tape, he got ran over by number 13. He didn't even wrap him up. And but listen, our offense, first of all, I would bench or trade Ebron. This guy's going to hurt you, man. This guy cannot hold it. In critical situations, this is a guy that comes from a losing program, losing team. He's going to give games away for you like Juju and the rest of them do. He
Uh,
late in the game, fumbled the game away. That was a fumble at the end of the game.
no, it
They
wasn't.
lost. Did you see he walked off the field with his head down?
Because he
Then
dropped another
another
pass. That's what I want to see. I don't want to see him
another
on the sideline laughing, Jim.
yeah, but they overruled it. That was a
It was
fumble.
not a fumble.
That
He didn't make a football move.
well, the play before was
Yeah,
clearly a fumble when they gave it to Philadelphia. This guy dropped some passes. You know what I mean? He missed some blocks. Listen, bench him, get him out of there.
get
You
him.
got enough weapons. I was sitting down with Benny Snell, who's averaging 1.6 yards a carry. Oh my goodness. Why is he on your football team and Le'Veon Bell's playing with Kansas City? We need a third down back. We need a Le'Veon Bell. But
He was not
hey,
going to humble himself and come here, Jim. Come on. We
what
had
you mean is the Steelers tried to trade for him last
last
year?
year, and this year they did not. It was more.
Where'd you get this? You
It
get
was.
this out of Jet Magazine? Jet Magazine got a sports page
I
now.
get
When
this out
you
of where
when
he
you
signed, Brooklyn, Jim. He signed with
huh?
Kansas City. He signed
That's a
with
good
Kansas
move.
City.
That's a good move.
He
That's
did
a
a
good
Kevin
move.
Durant, who won the Super Bowl last year. I'm going there. That's what he did. They have a running back that's not able. He's not a power back. He's going to get some touchdowns because he's going to get all the red zone carries that the running back from LSU was not able to get in. So
Let
that's a
me just say this. Let me just say this, and I'll let you and Claudio go. Do you think we need a third down back? Listen, I've never seen a brain surgeon come out of Maryland. McFarland looked so lost as the third down back last week. And
he didn't
this
hardly
no shade.
play.
He's a runner. Listen, this guy's going to get Ben killed. He don't know who to pick up on blitz, and that's okay because he's not only a rookie, but he's from Maryland. That's 2 strikes against him.
Uh,
So Le'Veon Bell's never given up a sack, and he's arguably the greatest, other than Marshall Faulk, the greatest receiving running back of all time. He could be a wide receiver. And they've made a big mistake. They don't have a third down back or a backup.
okay, Claudia, you want to weigh in on this?
Well, I think it's pretty simple what the Steelers defense has to do. Stop Kareem Hunt. If you stop him, then you're going to make Mayfield throw when he doesn't want to.
Right.
If he throws when he wants to, manages the game, I think it's going to be trouble. And that's what's been going on with Cleveland thus far this year. They have a lot of weapons. I mean, they have Landry, they have Odell, they have Hunt. And I'll tell you another kid to look out for is the tight end Hooper. I like him. I think, and against the Steelers, against Bush, he's a big kid and who can run. I think that's going to be a tough matchup. So I look for Hooper to have a bigger game than he has, in previous games this year. I think he's going to come up big today. But again, if they can stop Hunt, stop the run, and make Mayfield throw more often, and when he doesn't want to, I think that's going to be the key to the game because Cleveland has some weapons. Cleveland, I talk about the Steelers have weapons, so do Cleveland. But it all starts with the running game. Again, stop Hunt, make Mayfield throw when he doesn't want to. Then I think they'll do big. They'll have a good game.
Hey, you're right, Claudio, because Cleveland's average in the last 4 games 37 points a game. They got some dogs out there.
Yeah, they do. They do. And their offensive coordinator Van Pelt. He's the past couple of years, Bieniemy from Kansas City has been getting all the hype. And deservingly so for offensive coordinator. I think.
What?
What's that?
Bieniemy getting the hype for what he can, coach. But yeah, Alex Van
number one
Pelt,
offense. Jim, quit
like
slander. He has the number one offense. I'd like to see him get a job. Maybe he can get that.
Alex Van Pelt was a great quarterback here at Pitt too.
Well, I mean, but he's kind of the guy who's getting hyped this year because Cleveland's doing what they're doing. But again, I'll say it again. It all starts with the running game with Cleveland. The Steelers, they don't necessarily have to get the running game going because they have so many weapons, and Ben is who he is. Mayfield needs a running game to help the passing game.
Right. You know what? I definitely agree, Claudio. Baker has shown that he can't lead a team if the running game isn't going. You can definitely prevent it. He throws a lot of high balls, so this might be the game that Minka can get his pick because Baker throws high a lot. I think we're going to see Minka Fitzpatrick get at least one interception against Baker Mayfield. He's running around. His ribs are hurting. He got Dupree and Watt on the side of him. I think we can get one. And, despite the slander that Jim's talking about Mike Hilton, 5'2", 5'3".
Oh, man, he's having a big year.
Big plays. I got him on one of my fantasy. He's leading in tackles, sacks, interception, anywhere the ball is, he's there. That's
Big time.
what he was doing last year, and Mike Hilton is doing that this year. You know, he did miss that tackle on that long run by Miles Sanders, but outside of that, he's been solid the whole time. I don't think Baker can beat us. Kareem Hunt, I think we'll be able to stop him, and as long as the offense doesn't turn the ball over, I think we'll be okay. Their secondary has injuries. Greedy Williams is out. I look for another big game by Claypool and Juju. Since the first game, he's been kind of quiet. Look for Juju to have about 1 or 2 touchdowns as well. Very excited. I think we can do a lot of things with that. All right. Now for our next segment, Claudio, your huddle up. What do you have for us?
I've always been a big believer that if a team is up here and they're playing a team down here, they should beat the hell out of them. The score shouldn't be that close. I've always used the example if Georgia, let's say Clemson is playing, D1 school from like Duquesne or Robert Morris, the score should be 72-0, not 21-15. Okay, the Steelers are 4-0, but I think they should have beaten those teams even better. And I think that's more of a mentality thing for you to go in the next game. Oh yeah, we did what we had to do against that team. For example, or a better example, Mike Tyson. He would destroy guys that he was supposed to destroy, and that's what you have to do. I think that these games have been a little bit too close. I think eventually that could bite you. I think last thing is, they talk about splash play. To me, I liken that to a home run hitter. He either hits a home run or he strikes out. And I think that can be a little dangerous. And this week could prove that game style, that playing style could pop up and bite them.
Okay. All right. And I'm going to go with my Luke's prophetic thoughts. And my thing is this. As we look at the season, you're seeing all these games. You got guys missing for COVID, missing for this. I'm worried about the season finishing. I think they should have gone with a 12-week season and have 4 weeks at the end to play all the makeup games, because every week you're seeing guys catch it. First Cam Newton has one on the Patriots, then the running back and an offensive lineman, and all these guys have COVID. I think the season's going to really have trouble finishing. They should have gone with 12 weeks and left those 4 weeks to play all the makeup games.
Money.
Yeah, but you still could have done that because you knew you were going to miss games. I don't think they foresaw it. They act like it wasn't here, and it's hitting them in the face. And I think as we get closer to flu season in December, they're going to have some real issues with making up some of these games. Of course, we had that game with the Titans that was canceled because half their team had it. So we got it for week 6. I don't know how they're going to do it. I think they should have thought about it a little more, maybe come up with more of a bubble idea, but we'll see. I think teams are getting started a little short, but right now my MVP is Russell Wilson. He's been outstanding. He's one of the most money players. I think he's very underrated. Green Bay Packers also look very solid. Interesting to see what they do against Tampa Bay. Aaron Rodgers versus Tom Brady should be one of the games of the year up to this point, but I think A-Rod gets his receiver back, and I think they beat the Buccaneers by at least 10 points. All right, Smoker Jim, what you got for us?
Well, of course, I was misquoted. I'm a Mike Hilton fan. I love Mike Hilton. I've been talking Mike Hilton up ever since he got cut by a couple of other teams and came here to the Pittsburgh Steelers because they drafted his teammate from Mississippi in the second round, and he never got off the bench ever. And Mike Hilton proved himself. Listen, the scouting in the National Football League has been horrible over the last 30 years. Hey, we got Jody.
Hey, Jody.
But listen, Mike Hilton is a guy that just makes plays, man. He's sacking the quarterback. Anytime he gets in there, man, he's just got football instincts. He got a lot of heart. He's a big time player. You take a player like the receiver for Philadelphia from Old Dominion. Four teams cut this kid. This is a playmaker. This is your next Harold Carmichael, Harold Jackson. This is your next star. Mike Quick from Philadelphia. But here's a guy that could have been working for the post office, throwing away mail. But now he's in the National Football League and about to be an all-star. Hey, the Pittsburgh Steelers, I'm telling you, man, there's problems brewing. I got rid of Juju before the season started. Juju, I don't know if you've seen, Juju got mad, him and number 21 late in the game. Here the Steelers are winning. They're playing high. Juju's getting in a fight with number 21 for Philadelphia all of a sudden because Juju can't get the ball. Only one who cares about Juju getting the ball is Big Ben's kids. Juju's not a number one. He's a number two and a half receiver. Hey, big ups to another kid that got cut that played with my nephew in the Alamo Bowl when they was in 8th grade. Is Ray McLeod.
Yeah.
And a big shout out to a school that my nephew went to. He went to Liberty College. And the way he chases girls and girls chase him, I know Jerry Falwell and Reverend Ike had a hard time keeping him under wraps. And don't forget, at Liberty College, Eric Green got booted out for a year for drinking a beer. So I know all the women my nephew had, brother. I know it was a full-time job. But hey, just do a better job scouting. Some of the best football players are walking the streets of America because they can't get an opportunity to get out there and play.
Okay. Chill. All right, Jody, one of a great supporter of Steel City Sports World. Claudio has good points, and Jill might be right. And she also said hi. And she has the love. She always shows us love, helps us with the award shows. Her daughter is one of the best models in Pittsburgh, in the state. We're looking for big things from her as well. So thanks again for the support, Jody. All right, let's go with the predictions. Claudio, what's your prediction on the score tonight?
Well, if the Steelers were playing Liberty College, then I would say, you know what? I've been saying that they've been playing with fire. I'm going to now. If there was fans in the stadium, I got the Steelers, but I'm going to pick an upset.
Some fans.
They got 20, and most of them are people from the Steeler family. They're not going to be screaming and hollering. They'll be playing pinochle up in the booth. But anyway, I got Cleveland 34, Pittsburgh 27. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. I think it's going to be an entertaining game. But I just see Cleveland doing a little. If Denver and the Giants and Houston and Philly scored what they scored, I don't think their offense is as good as Cleveland's. What's Cleveland going to score? So I have Cleveland 34, Pittsburgh 27.
Wow, Claudio. Okay, I'm sticking with the Steelers. Too many injuries on that team. The walking wounded is what I'm calling them right now. 4 defensive backs hurting. I think our offense explodes for at least 34 points. I think Baker Mayfield comes back to earth and becomes Baker, throws a couple picks, and I have them the opposite way. I have us winning 31-20 over the Browns. Baker's going to have about 2 or 3 turnovers. Might not finish the game. Comes in with broken ribs. TJ and Bud and Cam hit him a couple times. He's going to be on the sideline. Kareem Hunt is their only starting back. Chubb is still hurt. We're going to shut the running game down. As I predicted last game, they won't have a 100-yard rusher. Despite that stuff, they still didn't have that rusher. I look for Claypool to have another big game. I think he's on a roll. And Juju will get his 2 touchdowns. So what? He's a TikTok star, Smoking Jim. He's a solid receiver, a good number 2. Unfortunately, he wants to be paid like a number 1, so this may be last year. I like him. And the one thing that I saw, Claypool had that big game. You didn't see Juju pouting on the sideline. You saw him going over, coordinating dance moves like he does, like he scored. So I love that fact about Juju. It's not all about him. As long as he gets the dance, he's going to be happy. So that being said, 31-20, the Steelers are going to beat the Browns. Smoker Jim, what you got for us?
Well, hey, listen, another shout out to Liberty College. They're 5-0. They beat Syracuse. They blew Syracuse out. They may win the national championship for Sam Rutigliano. Listen, Claudio and I talked last night, and I told him that I was going with Cleveland, but for some reason I thought the game was in Cleveland. I tell you what, man. Roger Goodell in the National Football League set it up for the Pittsburgh Steelers. They have such an easy way to go 5-0. Pittsburgh's at home. I'm gotta pick the Pittsburgh Steelers to go 5-0 in a shootout. Pittsburgh 42, Cleveland 35.
Dang.
Jim
Wow.
has the over again, Luther. He's got the over
Man.
again.
Wow. Wow. Well, just like last night, you're going to be wrong, Claudio. I told you about Lopez.
I had
Subject.
Lopez winning.
Lopez?
I had Lopez winning.
Oh, okay. I thought you had Loma. Okay.
No. I had Lopez winning.
Yeah. I went Jim's route and did pretty well with that one. The odds were just too good, so I'm a happy camper
The
today.
Luther's taking us to dinner, Jim.
For sure. Real quick, let's wrap up. I know our time is wrapping up. Smoking Jim, it's going back to you. Player sit. Big Ben. Is he a player sit for
Big
you?
Ben play.
All right, Claudio.
Definitely playing.
All right. And of course, I say play. Ben's going to just light up that secondary. Corner. James Corners hasn't been hurt since the first game. Did he make the turnaround? Claudio, do you play him or do you sit him?
I would sit him, and I would play the running back from Liberty.
All right. Spoken Jim.
Whoever
Corner.
he
I would sit corner.
You would sit him. I definitely agree. Sit corner. I don't think the running game is going to do too much today. And I think McFarland finally gets some more action. Juju, Claypool. Do you play either one of those guys against a destroyed and hurt secondary? I say yes. Play Juju. Play Chase Claypool. They're going to eat up that secondary. Claudia, what are your thoughts?
Claypool for sure. Juju, he's one of those guys who might get 60 yards, but he might get 2 touchdowns too. And I also agree with Jim about Ebron. He's disappointing, but I would play Juju and Claypool for sure.
Okay. Smoker Jim?
Claypool, who cares about Juju?
Oh, the slander of her. Smoking Jim. Wow. Okay.
He's one of these guys who might be effective in the red zone. That's the only reason why for touchdowns.
Okay. How about the Steelers defense? If you had them fantasy football, would you play them, Smoking Jim? Of course not.
Longest TJ Watt, the greatest player in Steeler history, is out there and playing the Steeler defense.
Okay. Claudia, do you play the Steelers defense?
No. Nope.
Okay.
I think Cleveland's going to score, like I said, 34 points. I think they're going to have a good day.
Okay. I think I would play the Steelers defense against Baker. I think he's not healthy. Odell is hurt. Landry comes in there questionable. They're down to Kareem Hunt. I think they can hold. I think Watt and Dupree will get a couple sacks. Mike Hilton or I think Fitzpatrick may get an interception in this one as well. So I would play him. All right. I would play him against Baker. Baker's looking. It's time for him to have a bad game, and I think this is it. He hasn't had a bad game.
My Mount Rushmore quarterbacks is Montana, Marino, Bradshaw, and Staubach, and Mayfield is climbing the mountain. I'm just kidding.
Mayfield, Baker. Well, you know what? His agent,
like smoking.
his agent is a real MVP. I've never seen more average quarterback with so many commercials on.
He's good at those commercials too.
He's great. He's a better actor than he is a quarterback.
Man, yep, he's good.
He won the Heisman. He deserves the commercial.
That's the college award, Smoking Jim. It's just like you're amateur. This is the road. NFL, he's done nothing.
I was pulling a Smoking Jim with the exaggeration, just to let you know. I don't think Mayfield's climbing the mountain.
All right, Smoking Jim. How about the Browns defense? You play them today or sit them?
Well, anytime you got Myles Garrett, maybe him and Aaron Donald, the two greatest defensive players since Deacon Jones and Mean Joe Green. So, yeah, you got to play him. Character young man, too.
I say sit him. Too many injuries. Myles Garrett may get you a couple sacks, but that defensive backfield is going to be an issue for them trying to keep up with one of the best receiving corps. Do not play that defense. Claudia, your thoughts?
Do not play them. I think Steelers are going to score 27. I think it's going to be more of a shootout, not on the level that Smoking Jim said, but I think that he's hoping because he's got the over. But I think they're going to give up 27 points. I think there'll be some sacks, like you said, maybe a turnover here, but I wouldn't play them.
Okay. How about Baker Mayfield? Do you play him this game, Claudia?
No, because I think they're going to be. You know what? I'm going to change that. Yeah, I think he's not going to have I think he's going to have under 250 yards, passing. I put all the bricks on Hunt's shoulders. Once he does well, then Mayfield will throw when he wants to. I don't think that he's going to have a big game as far as like 4 touchdowns, 300 plus yards. No, I think he'll manage the game well, throw for about 240 some odd yards, maybe 1 turnover, maybe. But yeah, I guess go ahead and play him. I mean, but there's other quarterbacks who are going to have bigger numbers. So I'm kind of riding the fence. If you look at it that way, you look at Rodgers and Breeze and guys like that who are putting up big numbers. If you have a better quarterback who's going to put up higher numbers, obviously you play him. And he's not going to put up big numbers, fantasy numbers. So I don't know. I'm riding the fence. I'll say no.
Okay. All right. You switched it up a lot of times.
I know.
Political answer. Kelly, I thought Kelly was the political assassin. Claudia was taking his spot. I say don't play Baker Mayfield. When he's healthy, he stinks against the Steelers. Now he comes in this one with busted up ribs. You know, his running game won't be as powerful because he only has Kareem Hunt, not Nick Chubb. Do not play him. He's not going to do well. He's going to throw a couple picks, and his receivers are even hurt. Don't play him or you're going to lose. Smoking Jim?
Well, this is the biggest rivalry in the history of sports. Baker Mayfield is a big game, big cat. Baker Mayfield puts up 400 yards and 4 touchdowns today. Play Baker Mayfield and get him another commercial. He got a beautiful wife.
All right, and the last one, Smoker Jim. How about Odell Beckham Jr.? Do you play him? What are your thoughts?
Well, Odell Beckham Jr. is the only blonde I know with a black beard. But he's been on a roll. You got to play. You got to play Odell, man.
You got to play Odell.
All right.
All right, Claudia, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I play him because he does a few different things. He runs I don't know if they're going to run the ball with him again like they did before, but I'd say play him.
This is a heated rivalry. Odell has not had a great game since he's been with the Browns against the Steelers. I think he does okay, but Baker struggles and his ribs and the pressure he's going to be under. Maybe if you have to put a third receiver in, but I don't see Odell Beckham having a great game. He's injured. Baker's injured. The Steelers in this rivalry, they're going to be looking for blood after what Myles Garrett throwing helmets at quarterbacks. I think they're going to be pumped up, looking to put out Baker. I think they're going to be out there. Odell's hurt. Listen, it's going to be a hard-hitting game. This is when football was football. These were
Lou, you put it together, brother.
Oh, my God. One of the worst hits I've ever seen. Look at Joe Green with the kick down low. Guys punching. This is what I want to see right now. Look at the fans getting into it. This is what we're going to see today. I can't wait. Look at Ryan Clark. He's out here destroying guys, throwing helmets. But see, that's how you throw a helmet. You don't throw it at the other guy, guys. And, of course, Porter always looking for a quarterback to hit. I can't wait for this game. It's great. This has just always been a heated rivalry, man. This is exciting. I love it. One of my favorite games of the season, man, because we're so close and we hate each other. This is how football should be played. But too bad we're going to destroy them as we look at some of the highlights for some of the greatest.
I might be 5-0. The only one who might be 5-0.
Hey, you had the Steelers winning, or
no? I had Cleveland winning.
Yeah, Cleveland. That's right. I got 40. We'll see. Hey, well, that's our show. I'm excited about this game as we see some of this. I love the hard hitting. Once again, I think Devin Bush gets his hard hit that Smoker Jim always complains about. He's going to catch somebody today, Jim. Minka Fitzpatrick is going to come on. I'm calling it right now.
I don't even want to go into what Jim said about Minka, man. We got to start doing the sign of the cross for Minka, Wow.
Yeah, man.
Ryan Song and Hanser and COVID. Damn, he just had a few bad games. That's all.
Yeah, it's the first quarter of the season, Jim. 12 more games to go. He's an all-pro player who started off slow. So that's our show, man. Hey, for Smoking Jim, the Hall of Famer, Claudio, the Hall of Famer. It's always good to do the show with these guys. Steelers pre-snap. Catch us out next week.
Who